Okay, it's WOTWIP and Coffee today. However, I'm not drinking coffee. Filming this on Thursday. It is sun-kissed grape and Skittles mango tangelo. It is delicious. Very good. I would suggest giving it a try. I had someone tell me that they find my adventure, my sense of adventure, refreshing. I thought, I don't know, it's just craziness if you ask me. But I do like different flavors of water, so I do that quite often. Had to stop at Walmart to get some cat food for the kitty cats, because, you know, they're starving cats. And while I was there, I always go through the clearance aisle. Got these youth baseball socks for $1. And there's 3 mediums and 1 large. So I did get 4 instead of 4 altogether. So I'm kind of excited about that. That's not too bad. That's a little cheaper than Dollar Tree. My Dollar Tree, lately, I haven't been finding multiple. You know, it used to be you could get packs of 2 for $1.25. I've not seen that for quite some time. And if they have any more than that, they're usually $5. So, you know, I'm not too thrilled with that. Did get a new crochet whirl today. I do like that leaf on the front. It looks like it might be possibly corner to corner, I'm not sure. There's one of the ponchos that's in there. Thought we'd kind of look through some of them. I am going to show you this because the page where it has this doily, it doesn't show the doily, it just shows you the chart. And there's that nice little thing. And then you have the beautiful cowl. There's one of the other, I don't know what they call it, and a blanket. Very nice things. This one item I think is cute, so let me get to it. Of course, the critter of the month is the fox. This is Fred the fox. It's the 4th in the series. They've been doing a whole things of a series. I do a little teaching moment there for a decrease block, growing block, and intarsia block. And here's one of the other blocks. And then there is the intarsia block. Very nice, very pretty. And you know, they have the teaching moment. They do a reversible intarsia stitch crochet. That is the education. I think this Afghan is stunning. That is just beautiful. It's called the Wildflowers Blanket. Do I think I'll try that? Probably not. But it is gorgeous. You know, I'd probably have to buy yarn, so. And the whole idea is to get through my my totes. They have a very pretty doily. I've always liked doilies. I don't know why people have such thing against doilies. You know, I always thought they were very pretty. Then there's another doily Well, they're calling it a runner. It's a runner there. And then they have Thanksgiving dinner. So that's kind of a cute pumpkin pie. It's crocheted. See, and I noticed yesterday, all of a sudden on Facebook, everywhere there's now this kick for everything pumpkin. And that is a hand towel, a dish kitchen towel. Unknown color. Very nice. We have a fringy fall mat. Yes, I'm going to ignore that. And then, of course, there's the pumpkin pie. Now this, I think, is cute. These are topsy-turvy amigurumis. And there you have topsy-turvy. I think that's adorable. That might be fun to make, although I don't know where I would give that away. Couldn't really use it for Operation Christmas Child. I think the ghost is a no-no. Maybe I need to ask about that. But there's, oh, it is corner to corner. Woodland corner to corner halfkin. That's gorgeous. And then we have the hunter's dog sweater. Why not? It's kind of fun looking at these. And yeah, you know, I sort of like, all right, I'm gonna decide what I want to make. They do have a slouchy Bavarian stitch beanie. It's very nice. That uses a 3-weight yarn. This is what they call the Warren Cove cocoon. Kind of looks like a swancho to me. I already showed you that Woodland Ripple blanket. This is called the Iris Edges Pullover. That is really nice. Everything seems to be baggy this year. And this one is called Siri Miri Cardi. I don't know about that. I like the cardi, but I don't know if I like one side longer than the other. You know, I'm not into fashion. So maybe that's my problem. I'm just not into fashion. I think that's it. Let me double check, make sure there's nothing else. And it is a hoodie. It does have a hood, so it's nice. But yeah, that is it. And there is that's the way it looks right there. I don't like this. I don't know. Looks sloppy to me, but What are you gonna do? You know, those are the fashions. I am working on that Afghan that I had started, and so I'm still working on that. That will be a long time project. Pershaw did ask for, which I gotta tell you, I don't understand the way these gals are running it. A couple of months ago, they said they didn't want any more shawls. They had way too many shawls. And now that our knit and run is getting here, it's the first Saturday in October. Now they need shawls, so I don't know. But one of the gals did tell me, she said, now I understand why you counted things. Duh. Makes a difference. It's a good thing to know what you have and what you don't have on hand. So, sometimes you just can't make this stuff up, you know what I mean? But this pattern, like I said, is the Bev's 5-Day Lovey Blankie. And this is found at bevscountrycottage.com. Hers is a child size or a baby size. I simply added more to it to make it a larger size. I'm using a larger hook, still using worsted weight yarn with it, using scraps, all those scrap balls I picked up. And I think I chained 152. And in this, you use an H hook, and you chain 102 or 102? Yeah, 102. I chained 152, and I am using a K hook. So, you know, changing up the hook size helps. I've done these things before just by using an M or an L hook as well, and they still come out nice. So there's that. But I do find some things that are going on today out in this world just seem crazy. You know, the shooting yesterday on the military base. Apparently this guy, they found out that he had a DUI that had not been reported to his command, and possibly that was the motive for his shooting. But then there's a part of me that goes, maybe he has an issue with alcoholism and was having issues that just were not being addressed and looked at seriously. And we're probably never going to know the real reason. You know, it's kind of like the thing with the one fellow that shot up and killed the congresswoman and her husband in Minnesota. Probably not ever going to get real answers. For some reason, I like to cover things up, that kind of thing. And of course, you know, I love going down some of those rabbit holes, so I've done that a couple of times. Find them interesting. So, yeah. And I always find it funny, people just can't see how both sides work to divide us against each other. Could you imagine how powerful the public could be, we the people, if we chose not to put up with their BS? You know, not let them divide us the way that they do. I mean, they always do that. It is always that way. So, I don't know. Wishful thinking, right? And the amount of misinformation that is out there from people who want to try to tout themselves as true sources. Then you go doing the search yourself and you find out everything they told you was a lie. If you bothered to do the search and not just believe it wholeheartedly. I don't know. What are you going to do, right? One of the other things I've seen lately is this whole idea that TikTok has been sold and that as of March 2026 it'll be banned. Well, that will happen if it's not sold anyway. And then I keep seeing where people say that you'll have to sign up for the M2 TikTok. I think starting in September. I don't know. I mean, I did download something about it, but haven't had a chance to read it. Maybe we should read it. Basically says, goodbye TikTok, hello M2. Everything you need to know about the Switch. Now, I don't know how true this is because I haven't checked the source, but it is kind of interesting to see. TikTok's fate is finally here. After a dramatic battle between ByteDance and the U.S. government, the company is taking a bold step. They are going to avoid a full U.S. ban. ByteDance is preparing to launch a new U.S. compliant version of TikTok called M2, scheduled to arrive September the 5th, 2025. We'll see. The new app won't just be a clone. It's a strategic pivot designed to meet the regulatory demands, secure U.S. data, and give ByteDance time to either sell or restructure TikTok's U.S. operations. So we'll see what happens, right? Supposedly, on September the 5th, that's when the M2 will be launched in the U.S. app stores. March 2026 is the deadline for TikTok's U.S. shutdown unless ByteDance completes a sale or there is some other agreement. Now to September, they are telling everyone to start preparing to for account migration. And one of the things they're telling you is you need to make sure that you're downloading your videos. You are on TikTok, so you can re-upload those on M2. It says, can you use both apps? Yes. During the overlap period, September 2025 to March 2026, U.S. users can use both the TikTok and M2. But after that, access to TikTok may be blocked unless there's some kind of sale that occurs or another extension or whatever. So that's the latest about the M2 stuff that's going on. No, TikTok has not been sold to Meta. It has not. That is one of the rumors that's going around out there. Here are some things that are changing. TikTok, the ownership is ByteDance, China-based. The new app, M2, will be ByteDance, US-based legal entity under transition. Then we have TikTok. The user data housing or hosting is mixed services or servers. The M2 will be Oracle, managed US servers only. Follower transfer, native platform in TikTok. However, no automatic follower transfer with the M2. So you'll have to build up your TikTok audience over there, or your M2 audience, whatever. Monetization, Creator Fund, 5 gifts is the way that TikTok has always run it. M2, tiered monetization system within US brand partners. So that should be interesting. Privacy rules under TikTok are under investigation and scrutiny. With M2, FTC compliant encrypted messages. Algorithm transparency with TikTok is opaque. They don't want you knowing the algorithm, and they're not willing to give that algorithm out. M2 is going to be more transparent AI with data dashboards. App availability global until the shutdown in the US for TikTok. The M2 will be US only for now. Shopping marketplace, TikTok Shop. For M2 will be a US-based M2 marketplace. Age access for TikTok is supposedly 13 plus. For M2, supposedly it's supposed to be 16 plus with stricter ID verification. So there you have it. That's all I found out so far about the TikTok nonsense. But it hasn't been sold to Meta. And personally, I'm really thrilled about that because Meta has had all kinds of security breaches, just like Google, just like everything else these days. Even our own government has had data breaches where our information was given out or easily accessed or whatever. So I think it's just the age that we're in. More digital age, it's easier to get in and to break into those systems. I don't know that there's an easy answer. I don't think that there's going to be a lot of companies that will continue to use the heavily encrypted services, like what you get with Signal. That is heavily encrypted, and you got to go through a whole lot of different levels of securing those lines, those kind of things. So, and that's generally what our military uses for the most part. I do know a lot of folks, when their military spouses are overseas, they use Signal for contact because it protects where they're at, that kind of thing. So if you get one of those scammers telling you they're military and they want to talk with you by WhatsApp or Telegram or Viber, or what are some of the other ones? I'm trying to think. Don't believe them. If they're military, most likely they're going to want to use Signal, and that's generally if they've gotten to know you really well. Most of them aren't going to use WhatsApp. It's not secure. They do it. WhatsApp, Telegram, Viber do can hide where the actual location of the person is, which I think if they stop that would stop a lot of the scams. But I don't expect that to happen anytime soon. We all know they're making money off these things, so. Right? And then I read an article about basically liquid metal. And tell me if this sounds familiar. Where a robot could be made out of this metal, this liquid metal, it could melt down and then reshape into a different form or a different robot. And do that several times over. Do we sound like the Terminator now? At least that was my first thought. What do you think? Oh. Now, I don't know if this article, I didn't look any further than just to read it and to think, oh, Lord, here we go. Now we're getting nutso with this. But, yeah, it's just, just some of the things we're seeing out there. Sometimes they seem a little crazy. Now, basically, they were talking about this metal that melts would be mostly used in medical science. So, yeah, I don't know. But then again, we used to joke about super gluing and that it would be nice if you could just use super glue to close up wounds. And apparently now we are using super glue. It's medical grade super glue to close up surgical wounds and all kinds of things like that. Oh, just crazy. Crazy, crazy. I think I'm going to need to pause you because our camera's about to shut off. So let me do that. And I'll be back in just a second. So, have any of you gotten your new crochet world? And are you planning on making anything that's in that? I do like I call it the poncho. To me, it looks more like a swancho. But I think that's pretty. I would like to do that. Do I think I'll be able to? I have no clue. Should be interesting to see if I can make it out of some of the different totes that I'm working out of or will be working out of. Mix and match. What do you think? Think that'll be an interesting thing to see? Worth a shot, isn't it? So, yeah. Ronan, telling you, this cat just cracks me up sometimes. Like I said, lately he has been, when he brings that mouse back to me, he hides it someplace for me to find. I don't know if he thinks that I'm bored and need to find it or what. But I will tell you, I'm not surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if this cat didn't start taking it into where he takes his cat naps. Last night when I went to bed, he had toted the mouse into the hallway leading to the bedroom. And I thought, what a goofy cat. Goofy, goofy. He didn't take it to bed, but I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't take it to bed soon. He is pretty much OCD with that. Boy, is he. And first thing I get up in the morning, he's right there at my feet staring at me with that mouse. Like, come on, let's get the game going. I don't want to play it all day. just don't. I know, I'm a bad mama, right? So what are your goals for this summer? I mean, not this summer, this fall. Or is there something that you would like to tackle that you've not done before? Maybe a new skill, new crochet skill? Anything? Something? I'm not real sure what I want to do. Do you like that leaf afghan? That was pretty. I'm wondering if I have enough of an off-white. Like an off-white antique white or gentle white. Maybe a variegated that I could use for that. Of course, that would mean having to shop out of 2 or 3 totes. And I may break down and do that because, after all, my tote thing, I get to make my own rules with it, right? So maybe I'll change up my rules a little. To use up what I can have. I don't know. My window is still broke. I have contacted them to find out when they plan on fixing that, or even coming out to look at it. They have not heard a word yet. I'm not very pleased with that. My neighbor has called a couple times about it, and he's not getting anywhere. So he's getting a little frustrated with it. So we'll see if maybe between the two of us we can get them to get moving on that. I had a call from my GI doctor wanting to schedule an appointment. And I do find it interesting that she wants to do telemed all the time. I mean, there's a part of me that doesn't bother me, but I was under the impression that you could only do 1 telemed a year now, and the other visits have to be in person. So maybe they changed the rules. Of course, they change the rules and change the medications. They go all the time with insurance, so why not? Right? And I will tell you, I have seen quite a few different videos lately. I love the different videos that go down different rabbit holes and bring some things that make you go, huh? One of those is I watched this fellow on TikTok called Chaotic Concepts. And sometimes I can see his point of view, what he's thinking, where he's leading you to. And other times I'm like, I don't know, dude, I think that's way off. But it's fun to watch anyway, to go down some of the different rabbit holes and see what's out there. And some of them are just nutso, you know? So you got to be careful what you're watching and double check the facts and find out for yourself. Don't totally rely on these people thinking that they're giving you true information, because sometimes they're just feeding you a line of bull, honestly. So, Wonder if I have enough to do another row. Of course, I'm only about halfway, so. I only had one cake of this. I only got about that much, so I might be able to finish the row, but I don't think I'm going to get a second row. Then comes the decision. Do I go ahead and start working it? When I run out, then switch over to a different color for this afghan? I mean, that was my initial plan. So maybe I should just stick with it, right? What do you think? Think I should stick with that plan? When I run out, I just add a new color and just keep on trucking? Or should I end at the end of the row? Any opinions will be entertained. Might be fun to see what you all think about it. I do need to go in and turn on, they have this feature I haven't turned on in the group called Community. Supposedly it's supposed to, from the looks of what the little synopsis I read, would allow for you guys to interact with one another as well as interact with me. I don't quite understand it. I don't know what the difference between what it is now and what it was then, so that's just one of those things I hadn't gone in to do yet and probably should. See where that goes. I missed the Boggy Creek blanket openings this week. They started on Wednesday, so I still have that video to watch. And I'm hoping that it is a much better setup for Nancy, and I'm looking forward to seeing it. It's always nice to be able to see all the beautiful things that come in from each and everybody for the Boggy Creek blanket drive, and apparently it is in full force. I think Nancy has a new address, so if you are sending something, double check to make sure that you have the correct address, and so that way things don't get mixed up with other mail she has coming, that kind of thing. I think that's why she did that. She's another one that I need to catch up on, see what's going on. I'm telling you, it's bad these days. Sometimes I can hardly pay attention to myself, much less anybody else. It's much better when I didn't sleep at all. I could catch up like crazy on people. But that's not been happening so far. Been sleeping fairly decently. Oh, okay, guys, I am going to let you go. Give me thoughts on whether I should end it on the end of the row or carry on for the next row. And maybe the next video will be a little bit of a surprise so you can see what I chose to do or not. All right, everybody, have a great day. I'll see you again soon. Bye.